Hi everyone, it's Liz here from Castle Handmade. I thought I'd put together a little video today to show you how I've been making these tassels to finish off my granny ripple blanket. I decided to have a go at using this new tool called a Clover Tassel Maker. I used to just make my tassels using a piece of cardboard, but I decided to give these a go to see if it was easier, if it was quicker. And I can tell you, I am pleasantly surprised by how quick and easy it is to use. And I quickly whipped up over 20 of these just in one night. In fact, I was having so much fun making them that I forgot to make a video. And fortunately, I was one short on the blanket. So I'm making the video today. I'll show you how I make the tassel and then how I attach it to the blanket. So, to get started, you just take the tassel maker out of the packaging. Now it's very simple. It's just two bits of plastic that make up this frame, and then there's two little adjustable screws here that you can loosen up, and it allows you, oh sorry about that, it allows you to change the size of the tassel that you're making. So this is actually the large tool. You can get smaller ones, but for the purpose, I'm generally using this to make tassels for blankets or scarves, and the large size suits me. So yeah, you just unscrew, move these sizes, and tighten it again when you're happy with the size. Now, screw that back on. Now the size that I made was the second, so just lining up those dots there on the side, screwing it in nice and tight, and I'll fix up the other side now. Okay, and that's then ready to use. Okay, so, it would help if I had yarn. It was here somewhere. I'll pause the video and I'll come back with some yarn. I'm back again now, so ready to show you how to make tassels, because you do need yarn to make them. In fact, there's not many things you'll need. You've got your tassel maker tool, you've got some yarn. I'm using the same wool that I used for the blanket. And I'm using all the colours that were in the blanket to make the tassels. So this one is the sage green in my Estate 8-ply range. Just need a needle to attach it to the blanket and some scissors to cut the tassel. Okay, now to begin, we just find, so the screws, it's tied up on that side, tightened so it's not going to move. Flip it over and there's this little ridge in here that you just pop your yarn underneath. Now you can make these tassels as thick and fluffy as you like. Just remember, if you're making a few tassels and you want them all the same, just count how many rounds that you make around the tool. So I might actually just zoom out a little bit so that you can see the whole tool. Here we go. Okay, so I wrapped 20 times around this, and that's how I made this size tassel. So just wrapping around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. Put the end on that top part here and cut. Then you just need to cut a longish strand. That will be for tying around the center of the tassel. And while I'm here, I'm going to cut another piece about the same length, and that's for tying around the neck of the tassel, but I'll show you when we get to that. So using the first strand that I've cut, we just find the center of this, so wrap it in underneath. Now, because I've adjusted the size of this, where those two same size triangles are, that's the center of the tool. So I'm going to make a knot, and again just make it a double knot to secure it nice and tight. Then going to push those two ends through and flip the tool over, and I'm going to make another 2 knots on this side. The tassel maker comes with instructions, all written instructions with a few pictures to help you out as well. I followed those instructions and then I took a couple of shortcuts, and this is how I prefer to make them now. So once you've tied that and it's nice and tight and secure, it's then your chance to cut the tassel here. Now there's a little groove in here which makes it really easy just to pop your scissors in and give it a nice cut, and keeping hold of it so that this side doesn't move and doesn't lose its spot. Then do the same thing on this side. Now you'll find it much easier when you're not trying to work around a camera, but just cutting through that groove again there. And we've finished with the tassel maker now. So here we have these 2 strands that I used to tie around the center of the tassel when it was on the frame. They're going to now become the part that you hang the tassel from. If you're making it into a garland, you'll hang from here, or I'm actually attaching it to my blanket, so that they're the strands that I'll use to sew onto the blanket. Now we need to take that other piece of yarn that I cut earlier. If you didn't cut one, just cut another length, and that's going to become what I'm calling the neck of the tassel, which if you have a look at this one here, I'm referring to this piece of string that's around here. We'll call it a neck because this generally looks like a head. There's probably a technical term for it, but neck is what I'm using. So all we need to do is wrap it around the tassel and do 1 knot. I always do a double knot, and you can see it's looking a bit messed up here, but don't worry about that because we can fix it. All you need to do is hold the 2 strands from the top of your tassel and just pull down on all the little strands, and it will actually straighten up for you. You'll be able to adjust it a little, and it makes for a much neater looking tassel. Find those 2 ends again, and I'm actually going to wrap them around another time now that I'm happy with the shape of that tassel, and I'm going to do another knot, nice and tight, and again in the same spot. Now what I have been using is a crochet hook so that I can pop it in underneath here. You'll just have to wait a moment while I go and grab a crochet hook. I've not been very prepared for this tutorial, have I? Okay, just bear with me while I go and grab one. Okay, so just using a crochet hook of any size, it doesn't matter. This is a 4mm. I pop it in underneath that little necktie, wrap those 2 strands around and pull them back through. So now that then twists the knot that we just made and sort of tucks it in underneath, and it pulls those 2 strands through to the tassel and they become part of it. Now's your chance to trim, and if you really want quite an even tassel, then you're probably best to lay it flat and cut straight across. I like mine to be a little bit fluffy and straggly at the bottom, but I do like it to be fairly even. So just give your tassel a little haircut until you're happy with how it looks. You could keep trimming it all day and I'd end up with a very short tassel, I'm sure. There we go. Last couple of bits. Okay, I'll move all those little bits out the way and you can see the finished tassel. So that's it there. Now I'm going to attach it to the final point of the blanket. Now to do that, remember we've got 2 strands here. I'm just going to use one of them. Thread the needle, and the point of this, the point here has 3 chain stitches. So I'm just going to find the center one and pop my needle in and through that so that I know it's right in the center. And then I just tuck my, it's hard to see, but I tuck my needle in underneath that center tie that we did at the top of the tassel. And then I just go in and out, so in through the little chain stitch on the blanket, underneath the tie of the tassel, and pull it nice and tight. Not sure if that was on screen for you then, so I'll do it again. So in through the chain stitch on the blanket, underneath the tie on the tassel, and pull it tight. I think I'll do that one more time, and this time, before I tighten that, I'm just going to pop my needle back through that loop I just made, and that'll give us another little extra knot there on top. Can then pop my needle through the center of the tassel all the way down until it pops out in here somewhere. Pull that strand through and take the needle off. And then we've got this final little strand here. The tassel's already strongly attached to the blanket, so there's no need to tie anymore. I just want to hide this strand, this end, and pop it through the center of the tassel again, all the way down and pull it through. And then I've got those 2 ends just to trim off the same length as the tassel. And there you have it. A really easy way to make tassels, and they work up quite quickly when you get on a roll with them. I'll be selling these tassel makers online and in my store now as well for anyone interested in them. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.